Today, we talk about how we use mathematics in different ways and our daily basis of our lives. First, mathematics helps predict the behavior of nature and phenomena in the world. This is where mathematics comes in. Through math, they can provide equations so that they could prove that their discoveries and observations are not accidental. And somehow, these findings had helped in predicting the behavior of nature and phenomena in the world. By observing in the modern world, it is clear to the sight and mind that mathematics can be a great help in the prediction of the behavior of the nature and phenomena of the world. But it does not specifically mean that mathematics is the only core factor in providing predictions. So the emphasis to this statement is that mathematics helps predict. Help is the key word. In having predictions, science is the one who takes role and do the predictions. But what does math do? It is what helps the predictions be more reliable and possible through right and accurate calculations, specifically through the process of observing and experimenting. Mathematics helps because all of the knowledge that was gained allow us to describe relations and compute values on events and help science in doing what it wants to prove. Mathematics explain how some happenings in the nature reoccur. Like in the sunset, mathematics explains different factors such as where it went and why it returned. Most people grow up asking the purpose of this complicated calculation in their daily lives. Here is one of the answers. It is because mathematics helps in predicting behavior of nature and the phenomena of the world. Next, mathematics helps control nature and occurrences in the world for our own ends. Mathematics is one of the most important aspects in our daily lives. It helps us tell time, assist us in finances, engage us with better problem solving skills, and help us to understand the world better. Mathematics helps in controlling nature and occurrences because some of them behave mathematically, like a snowflake that is a perfect example of a fractal. A building that is composed of constructive measurements to stand taller and microchip that is composed of zeros and ones to regulate the process. These are just examples reminding us that mathematics is a very strong soul or origin of anything. The power of mathematics is discussed as a way of expressing reasoning, aesthetics, and insight in symbolic nonverbal communication. Mathematics usually controls the balance of the amount of living and non-living, helping science to solve such an increase of matter around us. Math is also used to control every amount or heaviness of matter. For example, it helps the scientist to know how much matter is needed to create medicines. Especially in this time, mathematics helps frontliners to create vaccines for the pandemic or coronavirus. Sometimes math helps on how nature will be evolving over a period of time, which helps us to be aware of what we will be needing to do in the future. Let's move on to the next topic, which is mathematics as numerous application in the world, making it indispensable. When hearing the word math, one would inadvertently think of the word calculus, algebra, statistics, and etc., all of which are daunting topics that has the ability to shake students down to their core. However, few of us stop to think that the most basic aspect of our lives inevitably revolves around numbers. Mundane daily tasks such as cooking requires us to accurately measure ingredients in order to achieve maximum satisfaction for our desired dish. One success in baking rests upon the baker's good knowledge in math. More specifically, basic arithmetic good knowledge in math. More specifically, basic arithmetic, in order to accurately measure his ingredients. Otherwise, his recipe will fail. Another example: the foundation of our homes, industrial buildings, and architectural masterpieces are all coherent by the math. To create something of lasting value out of raw materials require creativity, the right set of tools, and a broad range of mathematics. Another form of art that math has an influence in is fashion design, and our even growing attachment with social media and our need to show off the world, our outfit of the day, more colloquially known as OOTD. We tend to not see the equation and the mathematical thinking that was required for the designer to present their clients a beautiful piece of clothing. Symmetry and geometry are only two of the many crucial elements that are paramount for fashion design. To sum up, math is used everywhere. That very fact alone makes it indispensable and irreplaceable. No other alternative method exists, and the elimination of it would quietly, frankly, cause chaos for humanity. Our society would be in disarray without math. Things would be a lot more unorganized, and the form of arts that we would normally take pleasure in would not be pleasurable at all. Math both acts as a catalyst and a cohesive agent in order to get work done faster and tie in all the loose ends together. Mathematics really played a big role in our lives. It is also queen of all sciences that helps predict, control nature and occurrences in the world, and making our world indispensable. Thank you for listening.
Data management. Data gathering. Data collection is the process of gathering and measuring information on targeted variables in an established system, which then enables one to answer relevant questions and evaluate outcomes. Data collection is a research component in all study fields, including physical and social sciences, humanities, and business. Organizing data. Organization is the practice of categorizing and classifying data to make it more usable, similar to a file folder, where we keep important documents. You'll need to arrange your data in the most logical and orderly fashion, so you and anyone else who accesses it can easily find what they're looking for. Examples include age, IQ, weight, height. Identification with the real numbers facilitates organizing, comprehending, and communicating this data. Representing data using graphs and charts. Graphs and charts condense large amounts of information into easy-to-understand formats that clearly and effectively communicate important points. In selecting how best to present your data, think about the purpose of your graph or chart and what you want to present. Measures of central tendency. Central tendency is a descriptive summary of a dataset through a single value that reflects the center of the data distribution. Along with the variability dispersion of a dataset, central tendency is a branch of descriptive statistics. The central tendency is one of the most quintessential concepts in statistics. The mean average of a dataset is found by adding all numbers in the dataset and then dividing by the number of values in the set. The median is the middle value when a dataset is ordered from least to greatest. Mode. The mode is the number that occurs most often in a dataset. Weighted mean. The weighted mean is a type of mean that is calculated by multiplying the weight, or probability associated with the particular event or outcome. Measures of dispersion. A measure of dispersion indicates the scattering of data. In other words, dispersion is the extent to which values in a distribution differ from the average of the distribution. Range. The range is the simplest measurement of the difference between values in a dataset. To find the range, simply subtract the lowest value from the greatest value, ignoring the others. Standard deviation. A standard deviation is a measure of how dispersed the data is in relation to the mean. Variance. Variance is a measure of dispersion, meaning it is a measure of how far a set of numbers is spread out from their average value. Measure of relative position. A measure of dispersion indicates the scattering of data. In other words, dispersion is the extent to which values in a distribution differ from the average of the distribution. Z-scores. A z-score measures exactly how many standard deviations above or below the mean a data point is. A positive z-score says the data point is above average. A negative z-score says the data point is below average. A z-score close to 0 says the data point is close to average. Percentiles. A percentile is a comparison score between a particular score and the scores of the rest of a group. Quartiles. A quartile divides data into 3 points: a lower quartile, median, and upper quartile to form for groups of the dataset. The lower quartile, or first quartile, is denoted as Q1 and is the middle number that falls between the smallest value of the dataset and the median. Box workers plots. A box and whisker plot, also called a box plot, displays the 5-number summary of a set of data. The 5-number summary is the minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. Probabilities. Probability is the branch of mathematics concerning numerical descriptions of how likely an event is to occur, or how likely it is that a proposition is true. Normal distribution. A normal distribution is an arrangement of a data set in which most values cluster in the middle of the range and the rest taper off symmetrically toward either end. Linear regression and correlation. In statistics, linear regression is a linear approach for modeling the relationship between a scalar response and one or more explanatory variables. Correlation is a term that is a measure of the strength of a linear relationship between two quantitative variables e.g., height, weight. Least scores line is the vertical distance from the data points to the regression line as small as possible. Linear correlation coefficient. The linear correlation coefficient is a number calculated from given data that measures the strength of the linear relationship between two variables, x and y.
Mathematics in our world. What is mathematics? Mathematics is the science of structure, order, and relation that has evolved from the elemental practices of counting, measuring, and describing the shape of objects. Mathematics is a useful way to think about nature in our world. Mathematics is a tool to quantify, organize, and control our world, predict phenomena, and make sure life is easier for us. So let's go to patterns and numbers and natures in our world. Patterns in natures are visible regularities of form found in the natural world and can also be seen in the universe. Nature patterns are not to be just admired. They are vital clues to the rules that govern natural processes. Pattern defined as regular, repeated, recurring forms or designs to identify relationships, find logical connections to form generalizations and predictions. The snowflakes and honeycomb. The snowflakes exhibit a 6-fold radial symmetry with unique and identical pattern on each arm. Each snowflake is different as when they fall from the sky. Honeycomb are example of wallpaper symmetry. It is believed by mathematicians that bees build their honeycombs in a hexagonal pattern as it is the best shape for storing the greatest amount of honey while using the least amount of wax to create structure. Tiger stripes and Hyannis patterns. Patterns exhibited in the external appearance of animals. The tiger looks and Hyannis spots, these seemingly random designs, are believed to be governed by a mathematical equation. The sunflower. Looking at a sunflower, there is a definite pattern of clockwise and counterclockwise arc of a spiral extending outward from the center of the sunflower. Snail's shell. As the snails grow, their snails also expand proportionally. This process results in a refined spiral structure. It is called as a triangular spiral. Flower petals. Flowers are easily considered as things of beauty. Flowers with 5 petals are said to be the most common Number of petals are our Fibonacci population growth. Mathematics used to model population growth with the formula of A equals to P times E raised to RT, where A is the size of population after it grows, P is the initial number of people, R is the rate of growth, T is the time, and E is the Euler's constant with an approximately value of 2.718. Example, the exponential growth model A equals 30 times E raised to 0.02t describe the population of the city in the Philippines in thousands, 3 years after 1995. To find what was the population of the city in 1995, what will be the population in 2017? Solution A. Since our exponential growth model describes the population 3 years after 1995, we consider 1995 as t equals 0. So, A equals P times E raised to RT. We have A equals 30 times E raised to 0.02t. A equals 30 times E raised to 0.02 times 0. A equals 30 times E raised to 0. A equals 30 times 1. A equals to 30. Therefore, the city population in 1995 is 30,000. Solution B. We need to find A for the year 2017. To find T, we subtract 2017 and 1995 to get T equals 22, which we then plug into our exponential growth model. A equals to P times E raised to RT. We have 30 E times E raised to 0.02 times 22. We can easily get the answer if we use a scientific calculator. However, if you're using a basic calculator or calculators in your cell phones, follow the following steps. Start with multiplying the exponents of E, that is 0.02 times 22, that is equal to 0.44. So we have equals 30 times E to 0.44. Next, compute for E raised to 0.44 and multiply. The result to 30, that is equal to 46,581. Remember, disregard the numbers after the decimal point because we are talking about the number of people. Here, of course, don't forget the conclusion. So, therefore, the population of the city in the year 2000.
Mathematics in the modern world. Definition of language. Language is the systematic way of communication with other people, composed of sound or conversation symbols. Importance of language. Language was invented to communicate ideas to others. The language of mathematics was designed. Numbers, set, function, perform operations.
Using this, the 10 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, dapat alam nyo na yan. Operation, so we are using this operation for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And for sets, we are using this for intersection, union, subset, and superset. Variables, so variables we can represent any letter, but we often use X and Y. Special symbol like equals, less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal, pi, at ang marami pang special symbols na ginagamit sa mathematics. Logic symbols like this is represented for not. Ito naman, conjunction, ito disjunction, ito ay nire-represent natin sa if and then. Ito naman sa if and only if, no? Ito representation sa logic. Set notation, so capital letter N, nire-represent natin as natural numbers. W, that's for whole numbers, Z for integers, Q for rational numbers, R for real numbers, and C for complex numbers. So these only are representations. Okay, some important sets are the following. Complex numbers, so these only are representations. Okay, some important sets are the following. So kapag nakita niyo yung N na symbol, that is a set of natural numbers. O tinatawag din natin counting numbers. So ano ba yung mga yan? So ang set of natural numbers nagsisimula lagi sa 1. Nagsisimula lagi sa 1. W, that is a whole number. Some important sets are the following. So kapag nakita niyo yung N na symbol, that is a set of natural numbers. So tinatawag din natin counting numbers. So ano ba yung mga yan? So ang set of natural numbers nagsisimula lagi sa 1, nagsisimula lagi sa 1. The voluted is a whole number, set of whole numbers. So kapag whole numbers naman, nag-start tayo sa 0.
Ito yung makikita nyo mga symbols.
The set of
The grammar of
integers.
mathematics.
So
The
kapag
mathematical
integers, meron tayong
notation
negative
used from
numbers,
formulas has
positive
its
numbers,
own
of
grammar,
course,
not dependent on the specific natural language,
or
but shared
representation for
internationally. But
rational
mathematicians,
numbers. Ito yung mga
regardless
number
of
na
their mother
terminating
tongue,
and repeating decimals. For example, 1.75, 1.25, ibig sabihin nag-e-end. Q prime, the set of irrational numbers. Ito yung mga numbers na non-terminating or non-repeating decimal. So, yung may mga pattern na di natatapos. Yung 1.23232323. So, yan yung mga example ng irrational numbers. Next, R, the set of real numbers. So, pag sinabing natin set of real numbers, so included na lahat dyan. Yung natural numbers, whole numbers, integer.
difficultness. The word is called mean equality, inequality for member in set. Different use of a number, cardinal, ordinal, nominal ratio. Mathematical may be represented in many ways, such as it in function. The word
Characteristics of
and
the
or means
mathematics language.
differently in mathematics
Precise.
from its English use.
Precise
Four
is
basic
you're able
concepts,
to
sets,
make
function,
verified
relation, and
distinction
binary
or
operations.
definition. Ibig
Function.
sabihin,
We can represent
accurate,
a
sakto.
function in three ways nearly.
Concise,
Algebraic form,
you're
tabular
able to
form,
say
graphical form.
things briefly.
Relation. The relation is the
Sabihin,
subset of
brief
Cartesian
lang
product
siya,
which
pero
contain
nandun
only
na
some
lahat.
of the
Di mo na
ordered pair
kailangan
decide on the
elaborate.
relationship
Para
between
siyang
the
summary.
first and second element. The
Powerful.
relation is
You're
usually
able to
denoted by
express
R.
complex
Proposition.
thoughts
Assessment of
with
proposition is
relative
a
ease.
declarative
So we
sentence
have
that
different
is true or
perception in
false but not
mathematics. And I know
propositional variables
most of
such
the
as
students
P, Q,
tag
R, S, T
mathematics
are
as the
used to
hardest
represent
subject.
propositions.
But honestly, we
Propositions.
just
Example,
don't
determine which
realize
is the following
that
statement
math
or
is
proposition
actually
and
made
which
our
are not.
everyday
Thus,
our
Fernando City is the capital of La Union. Solution, proposition, because it has truth, value, and sexy. Solution, not proposition because it is neither true nor false. Number 3, where are you going? Solution, not a proposition because the sentence is integrative. Number 4, please give me some water. Solution, not a proposition because the sentence is informative. Negation. The negation of the statement P is denoted by P where it is a symbol for not. The truth value of negation is always a receive of the truth value of the original statement. Connective. Conjunction. The conjunction is the proportion P and Q is the compound statement P and Q denoted as P and Q which is true only when both P and Q are true, otherwise it is false.
Problem solving and reasoning. Problem solving reasoning is a logical reasoning part where candidates will be given various questions and they